We found him. He's here. So let's ask him about what he thinks about what happened last week, shall we? Another day, another dollar. We are back just 2 days after our last show. And we're going to call it the Outside Shots version of a Sega Baba. And we are here on a back-to-back Friday, Monday edition of Outside Shots. And folks, this time, Eddie Johnson has decided to grace us with his presence after much... I don't even know what happened on Friday, man. I just know I did the show by myself. And I thought it went really well. I thought it was one of our best shows of the year. And so, EJ, welcome to the show. Welcome to Outside Shots featuring Saul Bookman, which is now the new title of the show.
That's fine. I mean, if your ego wants to, feel that way, go right ahead. Look, I have no excuses other than EJ was not feeling well. And it's funny because my doctor, he says, Eddie, I can give you some cough syrup, right? And he says, you can just go get it from the drugstore, or I can order you some stronger stuff. I'm not thinking he said, take it at night though. Don't take it during the day, right? And so I take it at night. It tastes good. I'm figuring I could knock it out even better. So, you're supposed to take a tablespoon. I think I took a tablespoon and a half.
Oof.
Man, I was out. I'm serious. My wife didn't know that I was supposed to get up to do it, so she didn't say anything to me. And she says I was just in a drugged out stupor.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so that's what happened. So I've been battling this, man, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people got this going on, man. I just can't get rid of this allergy that I have. Normally I can get rid of it. Just can't. So I apologize. I apologize to the world that, I didn't show up. Well, I did wake up, but it was like 9:15.
Mm-hmm. He texted me in the middle of the show.
And I texted Saul. I said, hey, look, okay, I apologize, all that, but you know what? I can get on remote. I did say that, correct?
He did. At 9:23, he did.
And this egomaniac wanted it to be all about him on the show. He refused to do it. I would never have done that. I would have let him get on in. Then he could have ripped me then, and then we'd be able to start the show a little bit more comfortable today. But no. This egomaniac over here, he sees the opportunity to be front and center of you guys and to do a show on his own. I get it. I mean, I do my radio show like that. When my co-host can't make it or he gets messed up on the other end and cut off, I tell the producer, don't let him back in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I get it. I mean, did you feel good? I mean,
sometimes a Drew Bledsoe has to get hurt in order for Tom Brady to show up. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, sort of like Mahomes showed up yesterday?
Ooh, that was rough. He's not in good spirits today, I'm sure. But we appreciate you all joining us today on a post-Super Bowl edition of Outside Shots. Last week, obviously, trade deadline, a bunch of stuff went down. A bunch of stuff did not go down. Rumors of this, rumors of that. EJ, you were on the road with the team. And I kind of want to get a sense because, Ramona Shelburne last week talked about how the vibes were toxic, and she kind of pointed to the shoot around on Wednesday in OKC. And I just felt like, well, how many teams don't feel a sense of toxicity on trade deadline day, not knowing how many of these players are going to be shipped around the country? So I kind of felt like maybe that was a little It was kind of taking advantage of a situation to some degree. But you were on the road. You tell me. You know how were the vibes around the Suns last week?
Look, listen, it's a lot of different. It's like life, man. Like you say you're at your job, all of a sudden you get a new boss, and you heard that he's getting ready to change stuff and do stuff, and maybe you don't have a history with this new boss, right? Maybe this boss was actually in the company, so one leaves and they elevate another one. Maybe you had a run-in with that particular person. You don't even know if he'll probably keep you on. I mean, you have anxiety in every situation when it comes to your work, right? That's why work isn't perfect. And so it's a few times during an athlete's career where he's going to have this uneasy time. One is when you're a free agent, right? So you think about rookies that's trying to make a team. It's a never-ending process of stress. And that is the part that a lot of people don't get when it comes to professional athletics. It's constant stress, man.
Mhm.
Like, that's why careers don't last long. Just think about it. You're being judged. You run out to do your job. You're being judged by 18,000 people every night, right? So the weirdest part is when they had to do it in the bubble, was nobody was there. But every night, an athlete has to run out and be judged by 18,000 people, a number of them showing up to the game already ticked off by something happened today in their day, and they let it go on an athlete, or they're looking to find happiness because they had a bad day and their happiness is going to come from a Suns victory or Kevin Durant scoring 40 points, and it doesn't happen. We see it in baseball. Guy strikes out. They get ticked off. Like, it's stress. Well, athletes deal with that all the time. So they deal with the fact that they have to perform for you even when they're compromised. Okay? They're dealing with contract, right? They might be dealing with a coach that maybe don't see their game the way that they should, right? So all of that. Maybe they had an argument at home with a significant other on the way to the game. That's happened a few times for me. You know? Then you still got to go perform. So you just add the trade deadline into another one, which is the worst because the trade deadline comes at the middle of the season. So just if you're single, it's not an issue. Yeah, you can just up and leave. You know, you ain't responsible for nobody or whatever. But what if you have a family and your kids are in school? And so what happens if you get traded midway point, you're not going to take your kids out of school midway point, right? So if they're at school age, if they're not at school age, it's easy. Just pick up and you can take them, right? And you can just stay in the Airbnb for a while or whatever the team puts you at a hotel, and that'll be fine because you're not taking the kids to school. But what about if the significant other works? What if she has a life outside of your basketball that she tries to do? What if her family is there and her mom needs to be paid attention to? So my point to you is he goes off to another city and she stays in the city that they were in with the kids. Now you're living in a hotel, changing and adjusting to another team. So yeah, it's obvious that players will be fearful of that. And so it's a normal occurrence. Just put yourself in that place and you'll understand why they complain. Because I don't want to hear, well, they make $20 million. Why are they worried about it? And that part of it is somewhat true. But money does not make you happy. Money does not guarantee that you're going to be healthy at all times mentally. And I think that's part of the issue.
But were the Suns any different than any other team during that day?
No, not at all.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that's what I'm saying.
It's like
how
you handle it.
Saying that it was toxic vibes at the shoot around, but like that shoot around was probably not unlike a lot of the other shoot arounds going on because of the circumstances that surround
It's a combination of stuff, and I gave you a number of them. Yeah. You could argue with your spouse. You could be losing.
Yeah, for sure.
Your team record can be bad. You could not have cohesion on the court,
which is what's going on.
As I mentioned, you might not like the coach. Yeah. Like it's a lot of things, and so you're gonna have combustion on every team. I played on 7 NBA teams. I played with over I played with hundreds of teammates, and nothing is ever pristine. You know why? Because it's highly competitive. It's highly competitive. Guys are trying to earn money every day. Even the guys that's under contract, they're trying to earn future contract. And they're focused and they're aggressive and they want to win and they want to play and they want to get shots. It's just all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's probably combustion, but it's how you handle it. And the way you handle combustion and uneasiness, win.
Well,
Think about it. I guarantee you Boston, they have issues on their team. They even mentioned it earlier this year that they had issues. They got a tremendous record, but they still have issues. I guarantee you some guys that's on the Cleveland Cavaliers that don't like each other. And as close as it seems to Oklahoma City is on the court, I guarantee you it's guys on that team that don't, it's a couple that don't see eye to eye with other guys. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's not anything negative. It's something you can get over. So I'm not going to say the Suns didn't have combustion or some uneasiness in their locker room or they're dealing with some stuff right now because they're at 500. But they just got to find a way to get over it. Like they did last year. They wound up winning 49 games, which no one thought that they could do based on their record early in the year. So we know that they can get themselves out of it. Let's hope they do.
Well, here's a question for you based off of what just happened in the Super Bowl. The Eagles have been in kind of two different situations in their last, let's just say 10 to 15 years. One of the situations was when the salary cap adjusted, you kind of had more of a free-for-all in terms of free agency, and the Eagles spent the most one specific year in getting like Nnamdi Asomugha, whatever, and it didn't pan out. They got a bunch of superstars, and it didn't pan out. It didn't work. They didn't go very far in the playoffs. They kind of flubbed. And then you go to last year where they have a lot of talent, but for whatever reason, down the stretch, they lose 5 out of the last 6. They get bounced in the first round. It was kind of a disastrous end to the year. But they somehow put it all together this year. And they get to the Super Bowl and they dominate the Super Bowl by staying the course. Do you feel like the Suns right now are in the former or the latter in terms of do they have a lot of talent, but it's going nowhere? Or is this going to be a situation where it is recoverable by the core group that you have? And what specific changes, if any, need to be made in order to shore this all up?
No, I've said this continuously, and I don't, I think people that follow Suns telecast and they hear me, that I try to keep truth with everything that I say. And I'm not a homer. I have to respect the team that I work for, but I'm not a homer. If I see something going wrong, I'll talk about it. If I see a player making mistakes and doing something, I'll talk about it. I've talked about it this year in regards to, as great as KD has been. There's no perfect person, period, right? So it's imperfection in all of us, right? So it's just how you're willing to deal with the imperfection, right? So, I always say, I just wish KD would stop throwing cross-court passes, right? Because that's the hardest pass in the league, and he's gotten caught numerous times throwing that pass, right? But there's not much else I could pretty much say about what he's done from a basketball standpoint. He's been amazing on the court. So, but you can always find something, right, in every player. And I just think, I've tried to be honest to do that. The issue with the Suns right now is 3 things to me. And it's things that these players can shore up. They can actually shore up. Now, I'm not talking because I don't know. I've been in that situation. I've been challenged in that situation. The first thing is, 1, take care of the ball. We turn it over at the wrong times. That's doable. It has nothing to do with talent. It has something to do with decision making. Don't make that pass. If you know that it's going to be tough to make it, make the simple pass. Take the extra dribble. Get the better angle. That's effort. Teams do that. You look at the teams that's winning, they do that. They don't turn it over. It's that simple thing. The other is block the freaking out. That takes effort. It's not that you can't do it. Though that's the first thing you learn. One of the first things you learn when you start playing a game. Block out. Take responsibility for the man that you guard. Put your freaking rear end in his lower legs right here, and he can't move. Hit him. Hit him. You get 6 fouls, okay? You exhaust fouls in hustle situations, not just being out of place situations. So it's that thing. And if you look at it statistically, this team, they'll shoot better than most teams, but they give up more field goal attempts. You can't win.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how you look at it. You can't win. When a team is taking 20 more shots than you, how are you going to beat them? I don't care. If they can miss more than you if they're taking 20 more than you. And it's those areas, man. Like, if you watch the good teams play, you will see they don't turn it over and they don't get destroyed on the offensive glass. They don't.
Yeah.
And so those are things that this team can change. When Nick showed up and he had these 15 rebound games, 20 rebound games, we won. It's simple. But it should be infectious. Not just watching him rebound. You should say, oh, okay, let me go get my few. Just think if every player went and got an extra 2 rebounds a game to go along with the way he's rebounding, you good.
Yeah.
So, people want to change stuff up and they blow it up. You need to blow their minds up and get them to focus on the extra effort stuff, man. That it just drives me nuts. Like, like I said, I wasn't no one's the most perfect player, but I'm going to tell you right now, man, look, I knew I had to stay on the floor by doing the other things.
Yeah.
Because sometimes my shot was going to be off. So now how am I going to stay on the floor? Well, I had to go fight and rebound. I had to go do that. And if you didn't think people I rebounded, just go look at my box scores. Like, you'll see most games, if I struggled, especially, I rebounded because I knew I had to stay on the floor. Like, it's just that mentality that I think is missing in our game, man. And everybody wants to take a shortcut. And I think right now we're a shortcut team. That's what I'm saying. We're a shortcut team.
Yeah.
And the pass into the post, instead of taking a dribble over to get a better angle, we throw the ball up, and lob it over a dude, And now it's hard to hold a position because now you throw it up, the guy sees it coming, he can adjust himself and get behind the guy. It's just simple stuff like that, man, that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So for people to say, blow it up and all that, no, we have a very good roster. There's a lot of people pick the Suns to potentially get out of the West with that roster that we have.
Would they pick them now?
Not now, but before the season.
Yeah.
Like, so if that was the case, then it's the players that's got to do the better job instead of us saying, well, we need to make a change. We need to do this. We need to do that. No, they just need to make a change. And hopefully they will. We got 30 games left.
30 games left. We'll see. I got a question for Eddie that's, I guess maybe you're putting him on the spot. I don't know. We'll see, but we'll get to that right after this break. Folks, if you want to try to win some free Suns tickets and you want to have some delicious food in your system, there's only one place to go, and that's Spinato's, because you could win pizza for a year. How about that? You could also participate in their pizza contest, which is basically like horse, for a chance to win Suns tickets and all that good stuff. Spinato's is one of the best pizzerias in the Valley. You should partake in Spinato's anytime you get a chance. They actually have a location out at Tempe Marketplace that I've frequented before, and it's just the place to be to watch Suns watch parties as well. They have several throughout the year. You can go to Spinato's and partake in that as much as you'd like because it is fun. The gorilla will be out there. Cheerleaders will be out there. Or the Suns dancers, I should say, will be out there. So it is just fantastic. So mark your calendar, Suns fans. The excitement starts at Spinato's. Get all the info on the watch parties and pizza basketball contest at Spinato'sPizzeria.com. Spinato's, the official pizza of the Phoenix Suns. And if you're in the market to either buy or sell a house, there's only one place to go, and that's Carol Royce Realty. Carol Royce and her team is phenomenal. And, listen, she is going to take care of you at the Carol Royce team. They're a family owned and operated and have been in the Valley forever. And she has sold over 12,000 homes here in the Valley. She's going to take care of you. Or like, listen, if you're selling your house, she will take care of you. And if she thinks you can get top market dollar and you don't, she's going to buy it straight up. That's just how Carol Royce Realty runs. So once again, go to carolroycerealty.com for more information. That's carolroycerealty.com. Or you can call the phone number at 480-776-5231 to get yourself the very best deal on buying or selling your home. Get top dollar in a market because, listen, interest rates are kind of crazy. Hopefully they'll start to come down. And when they do, you're going to want to jump all over it. All right. EJ, I was kind of pondering this question as I was strolling into work today. And I was thinking, there's one thing that I kind of wanted to get your opinion on in terms of an answer. Monty Williams is here for 4 seasons, gets us to the finals in his second year, and then third year we're the best record, and then obviously we fall on our face against the Mavs, and everything kind of seemed like it was kind of tenuous after that, and then he was fired the year after the loss to the Nuggets the following season. Then you bring in Frank Vogel, and even though they kind of started to rebound towards the second half of the season, all that effort didn't mean anything once you got to the playoffs because they get bounced and swept in the first round. This year, Coach Bud is here, and it feels like nothing has really changed from a year ago. It feels like there's still not a lot of clarity, chemistry. The vibes seem like they're all over the place. And I don't really know what to equate it to. I don't know. Is that the head coach's responsibility, is to try and make sure that everybody's on the same page all the time? Or do you feel like this is an organizational thing that they need to address at some point? And we won't call out names because obviously I'm not trying to put you on the spot in that regard. But I'm just concerned that the Suns, after leaving Monty, they went with 2, for lack of a better word, retread coaches. And I don't know if the heart and the desire is where it needs to be in order for what this team needs. I don't know if the accountability is there, because when I'm watching these games, I feel like there are far too many commonalities from one game to the next that are not being addressed. And I want to blame somebody, but I don't know who to blame. And I want to veer towards the coach. Last week I gave James Jones a hard time, and I feel like it's a combination. But again, we don't know who's pulling the strings on the executive side, so I'm going to let you go with the coaching side.
No, well, I think, the great Jerry Cross used to say, you win and lose as an organization. And Michael at that point in time, he kind of pushed back, when Jerry Krause said organizations win championships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Michael pushed back on that. And I agreed with Jerry Krause. No, you see from top to bottom what everybody has to do to make things very convenient for the players on the floor to be able to go out and do their job. But if it's not for the people putting the team together, it's not for the trainers keeping the players healthy, it's not for the coaches putting you in place to be, as near perfect as you can be as a player. If all those things aren't like going in order, then something gets off and it affects the team, right? So you brought up players going at each other. That could affect the team. So for me, when you look at struggles, then everybody has to look in the mirror. Like, I don't think it starts with one person. Like, I think it's from top to bottom. You have to say, okay, what can we do better to figure out this thing? Like, and people will say, well, owner's not playing or the GM's not playing. No, but he's talking to the players.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how he motivates the players to be able to go out and do what they do, right? Make sure that they're comfortable. Like, things are good for them. They're traveling good. They're staying in good places.
Like, who is one of the best GMs you played for in that regard in terms of communicating with players and relationships?
Well, I mean, I could pick numerous teams because of the way we played. Where like I said, it's never a pristine relationship.
Sure.
There's always something going on. Like I said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
it's not perfection. Like it's something always that's off. You know, it could be. I've been on winning teams, but yet some players on that team couldn't stand the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, he wasn't probably playing him the way he wanted to play him. Right? So it's never pristine, is what I'm saying. It's how you battle through it. Because it's something that's going to, if ain't nothing wrong with you, it's something wrong with you. And it's no perfect situation, it's no perfect person. And so, like, to sit up and point the finger at one person is easy to do. But what I'm trying to get people to understand, no, it's so many different levels that can throw a team off.
That's true, Eddie. I get that, but again, like organizationally, I know what you're saying. It's not one specific person, but there is one person can have tremendous influence in trying to make sure that all the core pieces are on the same page, and I don't feel like that's even happening.
All right, I can give you an example. Say a coach wants to play certain players, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But maybe the GM wants him to play certain players.
Sure.
There you go. So what you're going to get is you don't even know if the coach has been instructed to play a certain player, and yet it looks like he's playing that player that's struggling.
But then again, then my counteraction to that is why are these things not discussed in terms of the relationship between coach and GM?
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day they discuss it. Every day they go back and forth.
Okay.
Every day. It is a constant. Every day. Like, that's what people don't get. Like, every day is like they change plays. People think we understand. No, the playbook changes. I played for Larry Brown, Indiana. Man, the dude, he would change. I'm not going to say the dude. I love Larry Brown. He and I just didn't get along because I came along later in my career. I happen to love Larry Brown. But Larry would change a play and give it the same number. Okay, so say you missed practice. So you come back and he'll say number one, but number one is not number one anymore.
So instead of going down and curling, now you gotta come down and come left.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
So
that would suck.
Like you have to be ready. It's nonstop. When I tell you, like that's the part people don't get. They think guys just show up, put their uniform on, go out and play. No. Man, it's laborious. That's why rookies struggle. That's why rookies don't play a lot. Because they have to, man, they got to catch up with so much stuff, man. It's like you got to be smart to play this game. See, and so that's part of it, man. Like it's just difficult. So to answer your question, you might think that, okay, it's the coach's job to play the players. Yeah, but he's not always being the one that decides who to play. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but what I'm telling you is from my experience that, you know, ownership and GMs, they have a word and like, why is this guy not playing? Give him a shot. Coach might not want to give him a shot. You know, then you get caught in the middle. The stubbornness of it all. So that's the stuff that goes on. And it goes on continuously. So it's not just the Suns, it's every team. Every team deals with, like I said, I was on 7 teams, and it went on every team. I once got taken out of the lineup one time, and I guess the coach didn't tell the front office that he was taking me out of the lineup, okay? And the next day I know, we had a back-to-back. The next night I was back in the lineup. That wasn't his decision.
Yeah.
It was not. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times people want to point the finger at a certain person, but they got to know it's a chain reaction of everything that maybe induced that person to make the decision. Mm-hmm. You know, So another good example, what just happened down in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going at Nico Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really know. Maybe ownership told him, we don't want to pay him $350 million, Luka Doncic. Okay? But guess who's got to get the death
Nico.
threats? It's Nico.
Yeah.
See, so that's what I try to educate people on. Like, it's just easy to point at a certain person, to point at the coach, to point at the GM. It's a chain reaction. That's why I say organizations win championships because they all have a hand in what's going on with the play on the floor. And so that's how I would answer your question with the coaches. It's easy for me to sit up here and say, well, this guy, Monty, was better than Vogel and Vogel was better than Bud or vice versa and all of that, and say that. We all have our own opinions, right? But it's just hard, man, to just understand what's going on. And Bol Bol right now is at the center of it, right? Right? An imperfect player, which is all of us are imperfect. So, okay, you look at Bol Bol and you say, okay, what's imperfect about him? Well, he's not a big dude. Okay. I mean, he's physically. Yeah. All right. His defense is not top shelf. Okay. But he blocks shots. So that is defense. He rebounds in his area. That is defense. But he doesn't move his feet well out on the perimeter. Okay, imperfection. Fine. But it's a lot of guys that still play a ton of minutes that can't move their feet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you, the fan, you're looking and saying, then why is this man not playing? And we do know one thing about him. He can score.
Yeah.
Flat out score, right? And he's a very good passer. Bol Bol, in my estimation, other than Tyus Jones, and I think Devin, everybody can pass the ball, okay? It's the decision-making in the pass at the time that you decide to make. Can you get it through? Like, Jokic can make any pass. No one steals his cross-court passes because he sees it. Like, he knows he can get it through. It's not like he hopes. He knows.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why he's great. That's why LeBron is a great passer. They know. Like, so that's part of it. So everybody can pass, but it's just their decision-making at the time that they feel they can make that pass. You watch Bol Bol play, he never turns the ball over because he always makes the safe pass. He'll dribble to get to a better situation to pass it. Like, just watch him. And he hopefully gets some minutes tomorrow. Just watch him. He makes the right pass. So he might be imperfect in certain areas, but he's perfect in a lot of areas. He takes good shots. He'll try to go rebound. He'll block shots, and he makes the good pass. The pass that he made the other night that got people out of their seat, the only assist he had, the only pass he could make in that situation was a behind-the-back pass. Yeah. It wasn't that he was trying to be fancy. If you go back and you look at the video, he was driving to his right, so the defender had him cut off. So if he tries to throw it across, the defender probably can get a hand up and get it. And he had a guy, I think, that was trailing him. So the only pass he could have made, because he saw Damian Lee wide open, he had to throw it behind his back. And he hit him right in the shooting pocket. Yeah. And the crowd went crazy. So that's the battle that the coach has. It's like, understanding everybody's imperfect. So now who does he trust to put out there in that imperfect way that's going to lead to victory? And right now for Bud, his issue is that fans are screaming for Bol Bol and Damian Lee. They're screaming for them. Because
why not?
And he knows it. Oh, he knows it. And, sometimes it's that change, man, that can change stuff, right?
But that's, EJ, that's where I start to get, that's where I get frustrated, is that I sit here and I watch and I feel like for whatever, Bol Bol is a tremendous example of an individual who I feel like if they get more run, they get more comfortable, the better they're going to start. The better they're going to be overall in terms of effectiveness and adjusting to the game in, game out, in terms of the things that they are not good at, right?
Mhm.
And I know that games are not supposed to be a place for you to try things out in terms of your own development, but you do have to develop in some way, shape, or form as the course of the season goes on. And the fact that Bol Bol wasn't getting any run at all in the beginning of the season for like the first 40 games, I just don't. That's a kind of example of like, are you looking in the now, or are you looking 36,000 feet ahead, or I'm sorry, down the road, in terms of like what, if you play this player 5 to 10 minutes a game, how that will benefit you in March or April? But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we're prisoners of the moment every single game. And we've got somebody like Bol Bol, who has had some good games last year, looked like he was starting to come, kind of find his groove and find a role on this team. And then Coach Bud comes in and squashes it for the first half of the season. Like, what's the point of this? Why even hold on to the guy if that's the kind of thing that you're not going to try and take advantage of? Because clearly through the first 30 games, shit wasn't working. It wasn't working. Everything was starting to fall apart. And to still like continuously go with the same thing over and over and over again, expecting the same result or a different result, just what are we doing? Where's the development at? Where's the coaching at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See,
that's where the fans get frustrated.
I know, but the fans, they make their decision making as you do. I know you're a lot closer than what fans are, but still, you make your decision making based on a perfect scenario that you see. Like, why isn't he not playing him? The man can shoot. Like, he's 7'5". Like, why isn't he playing him? Well, I think the question should be asked to Bol Bol. Bol Bol, why is he not playing you? Are you showing up on time every day? Are you putting in 100% effort in practice?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you? Now, I'm not saying Bol Bol's not doing that, but my point is, a lot of times we don't see the decision that's made in a perfect way. Like, the coach has to see everything. And, Bol Bol, are you making sure in practice when you all are doing drills, you're doing them correctly? Are you staying engaged in film sessions, or are you dozing off? Like, but it's so many things. Let me finish. It's so many things that can throw it off to make a coach think and then doesn't play you. So my point that I would say to Bol Bol is this, and I say it to any player that I talk to. You know what the coach, the reason he's not playing you. You know. Every player knows. And if he doesn't know, then he needs to leave, right? Because that should be communicated to him. So you know why he's not playing you. So give him what he wants. So when you get in the game, Bol Bol, we know you can score, but you came into the game for Kevin Durant. He scores better than you. So you get it?
Mm-hmm.
He'd rather put KD back in.
Sure, I get that.
Okay, so what are you going to do to stay on the floor? You identify things that maybe KD doesn't do at a high level. Go get 10 boards. Go protect the rim. And then that keeps you on the floor. Like, how many times as fans and you've seen in the game where a guy's getting ready to check back in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the coach sends him back. You know why he sends him back?
Because the dude's grooving.
Because the dude that was out there did the thing that kept him on the floor. So trust me, I lived that life, man.
No, I know.
That was my whole freaking career. That was my whole career. Like, I knew that scoring was my strength. But what kept me on the floor was I had to defend hard, despite not being a great defender. I had to be in my spots, and I had to rebound. And I had to take care of the ball. And I did all three of them things. Like, I showed effort for all three to stay. Now, instead of me getting 25 minutes, I'd get 38 minutes. I'm playing in the fourth quarter. Because now, Eddie rebounded. Eddie defended. So we got the second or third best scorer on his team. Or a lot of times the best scorer, leave him there. Like, it wasn't no defense to offense type stuff. Yeah. Get him in for offense, take him out for defense. Like, that's what Bol Bol's got to get, right? And Damian Lee, same way. All these guys, like, Damian Lee come back off a knee injury. He's moving better now. People don't understand how good this kid was second in the league last year in 3-point shooting. He can freaking shoot. Okay, so what are you going to do to stay on the floor? Like, it's those things, man. So a lot of times fans don't get it. Like, they want me to just focus in on he's not playing him. He's this, he's that. Easier said than done. I just try to get to the micro for you. See, I'm a doctor. See, I try to dig deep and just get to the inner workings of it. Like I called out Saul. He's sitting there doing the show by himself. But you all didn't know that he could have just easily included me. He could have said, Eddie, call in remote, but his ego kept him for just wanting to be the man that day. He admits it. He loved it. He even said it.
Okay. All right. Time out there, Chief. We're not going to twist your lackadaisicalness and lack of showing. Yeah, I made it up. and lack of showing up for work at all. No call, no show. Which a lot of people would get fired out there if you didn't show up to your job and you didn't call in.
Really?
You would get fired.
So
right?
if KD overslept,
right?
if KD overslept,
maybe Bol Bol overslept that many times. That's why he wasn't getting any burn. I don't know.
But he ain't KD. But if KD overslept, if KD overslept and he showed up late for the game, would you still put him in? Yeah, you would. You would put him in. You wouldn't say KD go back in the locker room.
Listen, again, what we're not going to do,
you should have just let me in.
What we're not going to do is try to blame Saul because he didn't look down at his phone because he was busy doing the show and say, "Oh, he didn't want me to come on the show." Like, come on now. Like the definition of character is just, listen, doing what's right when no one is looking. You did not. Okay. You screwed up. And it's on you. You got to own your mistakes. That's what it is.
I apologized.
No, you apologized and then tried to make it my fault.
So I'm just saying.
That's not what this is.
I just gave an analogy.
You were trying to manipulate the situation.
I gave an analogy. It's an analogy in everything, every walk of life, everything that we do. I just gave an analogy. I wasn't trying to get you all riled up.
I'm going to address
We're teammates. We're supposed to get along. See,
I'm that's the Bol Bol stuff.
Everybody, see?
I'm going to get to the Bol Bol stuff here in a second.
See about teammates having combustion?
Hold on.
There you go.
No. Hold up. We're going to get to Bol Bol here in a second because I'm going to dispute what EJ just said here in a second. But first, let's get to this ad break. Right about now, folks, I could use some Colt cannabis sitting next to EJ because, my goodness, it is crazy what I have to deal with on this show. It's truly unbelievable. But you can go to True Leave and get your unbelievable flower from Colt Cannabis because they have a magic marker that is phenomenal, and they are going to take care of you if you just go in there and use promo code PHNX. Just tell them PHNX sent you. They got some of the most premium flower out there. Great flowers, hard to find these days. Luckily, your friends at Colt Cannabis have been dropping absolute fire here at our PHNX studios and now at local True Leaf. That includes the truly exclusive Magic Marker strain, and so you can go get it over to the new location actually out in Maricopa to experience some Colt Cannabis, which is a premier brand of cannabis that you're going to want to try and get your hands on that Magic Marker deal. But again, go to trueleaf.com to find your local place if you don't want to go out to Maricopa, and tell them PHNX sent you. In addition, like we always say, if you're going to go, to True Leave and Colt and grab some flour, you might as well go ahead and grab some snacks on your way back home because you're going to need them. And Circle K is the best place to do that. Download the Inner Circle app and get yourself some free hookups on drinks, snacks, gas, and just by signing up for the Inner Circle app, you get to save 25 cents off per gallon your first 5 fill-ups, which is a phenomenal deal. I don't have to tell you. So and then you get drink specials like the Frosters, Polar Pops, 79 cents. If you use your Inner Circle app, you get it for 69 cents, which is nice. So go to circlek.com /Inner Circle and take advantage of all these free hookups. There's deals constantly every single day. I feel like I get a text every other day about some of the specials that they're running. So take advantage, circlek.com /Inner Circle and become a rewards member today. All right. To go back to EJ's point about Bol Bol. All right. Yes, I get it. I don't know what he's doing in practice, whatever. But you yourself said that one of Bol Bol's strengths is being able to rebound his area. Okay. Right. And the Suns have absolutely suffered in terms of second chance opportunities. They continuously give up on the boards because of lack of boxing out, people not taking care of their area. And that's where, as fans, we get to see this and we say, they seem to have a problem with A. They seem to have somewhat of a solution at B, but for whatever reason, B isn't able to help out A. Why is that? I'm confused. I'm going to point to that as a reason why this guy should play more, because nobody else is doing it. And it's not like everybody else has been, uber effective. And yeah, I get it. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. If somebody's just not showing up for work, or they're not showing up in time, or they're not doing the small things that professionals are supposed to do, sure, hold them accountable. Totally get it. But I also think that there's an opportunity here where, if that was the case, there should be some mentorship going on. I would assume some of this was present last year, so why is he back this year? There's just a lot of different factors that go into it with Bol Bol that I would like to see him be able to get the benefit of the doubt sometimes and get some burn, because I feel like he would contribute to this team some kind of way. And right now, you don't have the luxury of hoping that vibes are going to magically turn themselves around and the Suns are going to go on a heater and finish up with 49 wins like they did last year and somehow find their way into a top 6 seed. That just is not going to happen this year. It's just not. It just flat out isn't. And if anybody's out there thinking that all of a sudden they're going to find the magic serum to fix all the things that ail them, then I would love to know where you're getting your flour from, because I just don't believe that to be the case. I have not seen any ounce or shred of that to be the case with this team, that they can fix themselves, police themselves, shore things up to the degree that they need to in order to become what we all thought they should have been from the jump, which is a championship contender. It is not good enough to get to the damn play-in. It is not good enough to struggle through the regular season the way that they have struggled, to the degree of which they have struggled, and then expect that they can fix it or right the ship somehow, some way. We saw this movie last year, and we got to the playoffs, and reality hit. That's the exact same thing, except this time they might not even get past the first game of the play-in, if they get to the play-in at all. That's what I'm saying. So I get it. Things behind the scenes maybe not matching up, and maybe that's why and again, you didn't say that was happening, but to use your example, I just don't understand why, if things are not going ideal, why you wouldn't try to attempt or experiment with certain lineups or certain players to find out if there's some spark that you can find. We've seen it in the past with NBA teams, really any team, any level of a professional sport, NFL, whatever. I just use the example of Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady. If Drew Bledsoe never gets hurt and you don't try out Tom Brady, then maybe the Patriots don't become the Patriots dynasty that they were, but they did, and that's what happened. What's going on here should be a test case of that, because you have nothing to lose at this point. You already have kind of crapped the bed, so you might as well try to clean it up a little bit.
I mean, what you're saying is not wrong, but I'll continually say to you, a lot of the times, halfway, it's up to the player to convince. Like, for example, what is the most impactful thing that Bol Bol did in the last 2 games?
Oof.
No, I'm just saying, overall, in a macro sense, forget about certain things.
Energy.
He convinced. He made Bud look bad. Coaches like that. Like, as a player, what you want to do, because think about it. They always call this one particular period of time, they call it garbage time. No, it's learning time. It's get more minutes time. It's not garbage time. And so for young players out there that play in high school or whatever, parents that think that way, no, somebody's calling.
My bad.
That's okay. That's not professionalism I got to deal with every now and then.
Your damn light goes off of your phone every single show.
Oh, yeah, but that's my light. I don't get a buzzer.
Yes, you do.
There's a buzzer went off.
Oh, my gosh.
You had a buzzer. I don't know what's going on.
The hypocrisy that's going on today is unbelievable.
But here's the thing, again, with this, is that a goal of a player that doesn't play a lot is to go out there and force that coach to have to play him. And the way it happens is, no matter how many minutes he gives you, you give maximum effort. You do all the things you can do, try to do right, to be able to earn and barter for more minutes. So it's just like owning a company, right? You advertising to get people to buy more of your product. That's just what it is. And so that's what that player has to do. And again, I've been in that situation a lot with coaches that just tried to mess with my minutes or just saw me in a different light. And you have to kind of show them, no, I can do this, instead of doing what he already knows you can do, because he's not playing you. So if Bud knows that he can score and he's still not playing him, then it's something that he's not doing that's pushing Bud to say, well, that's why I'm not going to play him. So that's up to Bol Bol. See, Bol Bol and he did it the last 2 games. And you notice after the game, the press conference, what did Bud say? I got to find more minutes for him. See, that's it. No, forget about if he does, to get him to say it, because he hadn't said it. So the point is, Bol Bol went out there and did what I would tell every player to do. You go out there, whatever minutes you get, you give him something that he doesn't expect from you, or he has this mindset that you can't do. So if you just go out there and you just shoot jumpers, he already knows you can do that. That's not his critique of you. His critique of you is being in position at the right time, blocking shots, getting rebounds. Now, bless you, that was pretty loud. Now, it kind of scared me. Now, you can go out there and you can maybe barter for more minutes. So what I'm telling you, man, and the easiest way for me to do is sit up here and go at a guy and say, hey, he's not doing this, he's not doing that.
Sure.
But what I want to try to always educate people on is just not that easy.
It's not, but it goes both ways.
It goes
both ways. Like look, So Collective is saying the same thing. Like he says, I call BS on it's always on the player. Monty played Shamet over Holiday just because he liked the guy personally. Everyone says Plumlee is like the nice.
That. It was more than that.
What could it possibly have been? It's Landry damn Shamet.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why.
He should have never played a single second for the Suns.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh my God, he had one good game against the Nuggets, and now
has nothing to do with one good game. Has nothing to do with it. See, that's the point. I'm not agreeing because I was feeling the same way.
Holiday.
Hold, listen. I was feeling the same way.
Aaron Holiday got
But I'm here to educate. That's why you and I, you got a good back and forth. Yeah. I have to educate you sometimes. Like, I agree with you. Shamet shouldn't have been playing. But
we win a championship if Holiday plays. I'm just letting everybody know.
But the issue was Monty liked his effort on defense. I'm just telling you why he played him. And he could live with, and the reason why he can say, okay, I need him out there, because he knew every now and then he would make a shot. So the guy that was behind, listen.
When you shoot 10 times from 3, you're bound to make 1.
But Monty was leaning more toward, he was judging him and playing him based on his ability to get over screens. He was playing him based on his ability to read defenses. I am telling you why he played him.
I know.
So
I get that.
My point is, he was more comfortable in playing him because of that than playing somebody because of a jumper.
There's a reason why he's not here then, because he made that decision.
I'm not saying.
He also said, you can never have enough Elfrid Paytons.
Saul.
I mean, what are we doing here? He played Abdul Nader off an injury in the Western Conference Finals like he was damn Michael Jordan.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Coaches and their damn egos.
But no, a coach can't win because every fan sees a player differently.
Sure, I get
every fan's not up there thinking like you. If some fans in there wanted to jam it in the game, damn it.
They only wanted Shamet in the game because they wanted him to score at least 32 points in one game, so I had to get punished because that was the goal for that year.
The point is that people see things differently. Like, they do. They see things differently, and it's hard for them to comprehend. Like, I'll be quite honest. I'm watching the halftime Super Bowl, and the sound wasn't up as loud as it should be, and I wake up this morning, and I'm hearing all these comments on social networking, because people didn't get what Kendrick Lamar was saying. Like, now I haven't sat down to really watch it like I can, but it was pretty obvious from a visual standpoint what he did. He sent a message, and people wanted to hear songs, but he sent a message. Some people can't pick stuff up right away.
Sure.
So I would encourage people, go back, sit down, turn on the CC, and watch the words come across the screen. And now you'll probably understand what he did. And now you might think differently. So that's just in everything, sports in general. So yeah, you have your perception of Shamit back in the day. I have mine. People have their perception of Monty, Vogel, now Bud, Bol Bol. That's the beautiful part about sports. But man, that's why I say it's very difficult, man, to do this job. Like to be able to coach, to be able to be a GM. It's not easy because it's got so many different things and so many different opinions of it. But the one opinion that everybody has right now is our team is 26-26. That's
30
the
games
one
left to go.
that,
30 games left to go.
30 games left to go. And it doesn't look good. Okay? Like it seems like play in, right? So where does it play in leave you? Oh, well, Oklahoma City, Memphis, Houston, or Denver, right? In the first round. Instead of reverse, like I think everybody thought. So that's just where it is. And like I said, that's why, it's been 6 different champions over the last 6 years, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's the parity is unbelievable. And you got to have a cohesion with your guys. And it starts with those players to really force feed it and the leadership within the team to just pick it up. And so it's uncomfortable right now. It's hard for me to watch because I have so much love for this organization and I want them to win. I've been involved in the NBA for over 40 years. I've been involved with the Suns 28 years. And, it's I just want to see a championship. I do. And I understand why it's disappointing to fans and people. But my job is to educate people. When I took this job, man, my job was when I call games, I educate. I just try to tell people, and I don't, I'm not a homer, but I have to be at least professional.
Mhm.
But if you come to a game and you see me over there calling the game, you will see my reaction on a lot of stuff. I'm throwing my hands up. Seriously, I'm like, and the players see it. Oh, the players see it. And I would love for them to come up to me and say something. Because I will tell them, I will be honest with them. I love the game. I love my team. And so I want these guys to do well. There's a great group of guys. There really is. And it's just that they haven't found their way. And let's hope that it somehow some miracle happens, man. And that's all we can hope for.
Well, I have one last question before we wrap this up today. And it is probably one of the more interested questions out there about the status of the team. By the way, if you're watching us on any one of our streaming partners, feel free to go over to gophnx.com to catch the rest of this conversation. We would very much appreciate it. Kevin Durant trade rumors, and obviously the rumor is that he was upset that he was involved in trade rumors. The Suns are unequivocally denying that he was a part of anything. I'm sure there's some truth to everything. It is what it is. Listen, if KD was rumored to be out there, then you just know people were calling about him after that. So in terms of the path forward, do you feel like this is something that is more overblown on the outside than it really is? Do you feel like, KD will be just fine and he'll move on, continue to play at a high level and then address this after the season or deal with this after the season? Like, do you feel like that could become a tumultuous relationship between him and the Suns? Like, how do you feel about this?
I don't think so. I think, with KD, KD, when he's a very honest dude. Like, he'll say what's on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He does it on social networking. I love following him on social networking because he and I are a lot alike in that regard. Somebody say something about me, if they say my mama, your mama.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you going to get it back. A lot of people think I'm surly on X. I'm not surly. If you say something stupid or you go at me or you say something and And they always want to say, "Oh, you always act like you mad." Dude, I'm not mad. Why am I mad? I'm sitting at home. I'm not doing anything. I just gave you a response because it was something dumb that you said. I'm not mad at you. I just think you're a water boy or a couch potato. That's all. I don't tell everybody that, but I'm going to give you honesty. You know, the thing I'm going at now, Mike Woodson decided that, he couldn't take it no more to Indiana because he's getting death threats. That's my buddy. You know that. This is like my brother.
Yeah.
And, so he announced that he's not coming back after next year.
Who, Mike Woodson?
No, he's not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's getting death threats and stuff. And it all comes about because it's a few reporters in Indiana that never was on board with him.
Yeah.
And it's one dude, Jeff Goodman. Yeah, I called you out. Yeah, I called you out.
I did not know this is coming today.
At Jeff Goodman. Well, I want all my Suns fans to go get him.
Oh, boy.
This dude, he wrote articles about Mike Woodson at the beginning, ripping him. And I think he's one of the reasons why he's getting these threats. And it bothers me. It's my brother. But I go at people, yeah. And I've been going at him lately. So it's just, KD's like that. If you say something about him, he's gonna respond. Kendrick Perkins said something that he was the leader of Oklahoma City Thunder. I wasn't there, so I'm not gonna get in the middle of it. But KD went back at him. And those are brothers, right? Those guys battled together.
Yeah.
So I love that about him. And so I don't know if he's perturbed at what he heard or whatever, but I think he'll get over it. Like, I don't think he's gonna walk around and carry it.
Yeah.
Like, he's a professional, man. That dude shows up to play every night. You might want to dissect some things that he does on the court and all of that. But the one thing we do know, that dude loves basketball.
He does.
He loves.
Yes.
Look, and you know what? And I know a lot about him.
Unadulterated, purified hooper.
I know. Hey, so I don't know if I said this story before on here. I think I did. Where we had an event and the dude shot baskets the whole event. Like, I'm like looking at him and I'm like, it just he sees a basket and it's a ball, he shoots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, that's how you want your kid to be. Like, so dude loves basketball. So if he's a little angry right now, that's going to be really a problem for the opposition because he's not going to compromise his ball because he might be upset. So fine. He'll get over it. I mean, I have no issue. I don't know what happened with that. I have no idea. But it's just the nature of the business. And so I have no concerns about him.
Mm-hmm.
None. I have no concerns about Devin. I have no concerns about Bradley Beal. You can get on Bradley Beal all day long. You can talk about the contract and all of that. You wish you had a damn contract like that. Okay? It's not his fault. He has a good-ass agent. Okay? They got a no trade. Don't be mad at him. Why are you mad at him? You would love to have a contract like that. You would love to have somebody that represented you and got you a deal like that. Don't be mad at him. He's done his job. Dude is the most efficient player on the freaking team. He shoots 50% from the field, 40 from three. You can't dissect this game. See, so that's the part, man. Like, okay, yeah, the contract, is a good one for him. But from a person standpoint, from him adjusting to coming off the bench, all of that, professionalism up the yin-yang. You should appreciate it.
And with that ends another Outside Shots. We appreciate you all for joining us this morning. A little fiery this morning. We appreciate you all for joining us. Book, Son Walker, King Nacho, Casham, Taryn, the whole crew. We very much enjoy your time today. But as always, make sure you leave a like on your way out. Make sure you subscribe to the Outside Shots podcast. It is its own feed. So if you don't subscribe, make sure you do. And we have a kind of a unique set of circumstances the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to do a show on Friday, but maybe that's pre-recorded. We haven't determined that yet. And then EJ is going to be gone for about a week or two. He's off to Ghana, Africa.
Yeah, well, first I got to go to Houston tomorrow night.
Yeah. You still got to go to All-Star.
Then I got to go to
All-Star.
All-Star. I got to work All-Star. Eddie got to go there with his show, Sirius XM NBA Radio. Check it out. You can see all the interviews. We interview all the All-Stars, all the rookies, and all of that for 2 days. EJ gets the chance to, just get right in the middle of everything. Since they never voted me to an All-Star team. Pat Riley, still mad at you about that. What does it say about our league if bench players make the All-Star team? I don't know, Pat. But I was averaging 24 points, I think, at 23 points at the All-Star break.
EJ, let it go, man. It's okay. Let's just let it go. It's over.
Still, I'll be there doing that. And then I'm getting on, then I'm Eddie going over. I take a vacation every year. You all know that. I went to Dubai 3 years ago doing All-Star break. And then I went to Israel last year.
You went to Mexico, right?
And I always go down to Mexico,
that's right.
Hang out. And then EJ is going to Africa. Yeah, so I'll be gone for about 10 days. I'll call in. Maybe I'll go out, hang out in the jungle, hang out with my lion friends and the bears and all that. No, there's no bears.
There's no bears.
No bears in Africa. They won't survive. The leopards and the tigers and the cheetahs and the monkeys and
we'll see.
You know what? Look, forget about me being protected in a safari. Let me tell you how tough I am. I'm going to get out the car and I'm walking in there and I'm like this. What's up, my boys? What's happening? EJ is back in the motherland. That's right. EJ's back. In another life, EJ's back. So don't take my life, please.
All right. Hit on that note. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow the show. Follow him at JumpShot8 on Twitter and on Instagram. You can follow me at Saul_Bookman. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. Until next time, folks, we love y'all.
Later.
Peace.